Good morning, everyone. This meeting of the Blair County Board of Commissioners will come to order. We'll begin with a moment of silent reflection, after which we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recording has started.
Are we being joined remotely by anyone, Nicole?
Not that I can see, but I'll just do a precursor check. Is there anyone joining us remotely this morning? Not hearing anyone?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll open the meeting at this time to any public comment. Okay.
Commissioner Kay, I did not pass along your public comment from Tuesday. I have not seen Commissioner Erb to be able to do that. I don't know if you still want that to stand. He would not have notice of that.
Basically, on Tuesday, I had asked for some more explanation on Exhibit K and what you're going to be doing with the opioid settlement money, which I had talked to you about last week, and I interviewed your colleagues about after Tuesday's meeting.
That will be, I'll actually be making remarks later in the agenda when we hit.
Which is why we held it
So, at
from
any
Tuesday
rate.
to Thursday. So yes,
So,
comes full circle.
I think that,
They waited for you, yeah, that's fine.
gee, thanks. Is there any other public comment? All right, hearing none. Nicole, can you take us through unfinished business, please?
Absolutely. Your first resolution for consideration today is resolution number 172. Approving an agreement between the County of Blair, Blair County Department of Emergency Services, and Precision Frontier for annual support and maintenance for the Field Seeker Window Ultra Low Voltage Adulticizing Concurrent Office User License and the field device as outlined on your agenda.
Is there a motion for the adoption of Resolution 172?
Commissioner Webster, I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Resolution 173 is approving the submission of the DGM 16F Financial Status Report to the Pennsylvania Department of Emergency Management Agency for the 22 Emergency Management Performance Grant as outlined on your agenda.
Is there a motion for the adoption of Resolution 173?
Commissioner Webster, I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 174 is approving the submission of an application for the federal fiscal year 2023 Emergency Management Performance Grant to the Pennsylvania Department of Emergency Management Agency in the total amount of $128,097.88. That's for the period of October 1st, 22 through September 30th, 23, as outlined on your agenda.
Is there a motion for the adoption of Resolution 174?
Commissioner Webster, I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Resolution 175 is approving the submission of the federal fiscal year 22 through 25, the year one, though, mid-year hazardous material emergency preparedness grant status report to the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency on behalf of the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Is there a motion for the adoption of Resolution 175?
Commissioner Webster, I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I would just like to point out that these grant submissions that we're approving today are extremely helpful in our operations for our 911 and emergency services departments. And these are things that we are required to do, and it is very helpful to have grants instead of having to take this out of the general fund. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 176 is approving a 1/4 4-color advertisement in the Where and When, Pennsylvania 2023 travel guide with 2 seasonal listings in the summer and the fall issues in the total amount of $1,382. This will be paid for by the Fort Roberto Association.
Is there a motion for the adoption of Resolution 176?
Commissioner Webster, I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
Is there any discussion? Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 177 is approving Amendment 5 and its appendices to the County of Blair Health Benefit Plan through Trustmark in sections specific to eligibility, enrollment, and effective date, and appendix. This would be retroactively effective January 1st, 2023.
I'll make a motion for the adoption of Resolution 177. Is there a second?
Commissioner Webster, second.
Is there any discussion? Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Resolution 178 is approving to renew and extend the agreement for professional services dated February 5th, 2008, between the County of Blair and Justice Benefits Incorporated for professional assistance to the county, exploring opportunities for federal financial participation as outlined on your agenda.
Is there a motion for the adoption of Resolution 178?
Yes, I will make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Commissioner Webster, second.
Is there any discussion? Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Resolution 179 is approving the second submission of a grant application for the 22-23 Pennsylvania Counties Risk Pool for the balance of $13,651.89 left on our 22-23 grant.
I'll make the motion for the adoption of Resolution 179. Is there a second?
Commissioner Webster, second.
Is there any discussion? Well, then again, speaking of things, we're grateful for our P Corp participation. This is definitely one of the things we're grateful for. Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 180 is approving a letter of support for the Blair County Convention Center and Explore Altoona's response to an RFP by the County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania. This would be to host the 2028 CCAP annual meeting and conference. I think we reminded everyone that that is at no cost to the county. If we would be chosen as that location, it's just good tourism revenue for us.
I'll make a motion for the adoption of Resolution 180. Is there a second?
Second?
2 seconds. Is there any discussion?
Apparently not.
Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 181 is approving an allocation of Park and Recreation Reserve Fund accounts in 035 in the amount not to exceed $1,000. This is for miscellaneous expenses that may arise through the year at Valley View Park.
Is there a motion for the adoption of Resolution 181?
Commissioner Webster, I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
Is there any discussion? Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 182 is approving to increase the pavilion and amphitheater rental fee beginning in 2023 from $65 per day to $70 per day. I will just call your attention to the new business item under item 8 today. They go hand in hand, but we have to you can't have one without the other. So we'll approve this first.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 182?
Commissioner Webster, I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
Is there any discussion? All right, those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's approved. We've reached the end of unfinished business, and we'll move on to old business. with item 7.
Item 7 was presented by Melissa on Tuesday, but I wanted to just clarify with the board something that I need your direction on this. So this was an item that was approved in the 2022 season. We were unable to purchase it due to the spending cap was $100. At that time, we just couldn't find a seat cover over $100. I want to give you two avenues, and I want to allow you to choose. We either need to rescind the old resolution and approve this as a resolution, or we need to just go back and amend the amount for the old resolution. I don't want to have two resolutions seemingly hanging out there. As this one is presented, you're really only approving the $140 payment, while the $100 payment from 2022 still remains out there as a resolution. So however you want to move forward, but I didn't want to leave it on the agenda as a resolution ready to approve because I wanted some discussion on it, please.
Defer to my attorney colleagues on this.
I think it would be best to rescind the old one and create the new one, because then you don't have duplication.
That's fine with me. I mean, I think the otherwise you're going back to a 2022 resolution for something that's going to be spent in 2023. So
Yeah.
probably cleaner to do it the way Commissioner Webster is suggesting.
Okay, perfect. We'll word the resolution on that. If you want us to bring that to you on Tuesday, we can certainly do that. If you're willing to approve it as spoken, and we'll write it up as appropriate and put it on the table for signature, whichever you prefer. We can do it either way.
Well, I'm assuming they're going to be using the truck and they're going to need the seat covers, so I'll make a motion that we rescind the resolution from 2022. Of course, I don't know what the number is. I'll
Correct,
fill that
yeah,
in.
we'll look at,
Uh-huh.
yep.
And that we approve the allocation of funds for the seat cover as outlined in the request here.
Is there a second?
Second?
Is there any other discussion? Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much for that.
It is approved. I appreciate my colleagues deferring the next item to my return. And so this morning, what we're going to be doing is we're considering participating in a new national opioid settlements. These are in addition to the previous settlement agreement in which we agreed to participate. And this settlement is actually with 5 additional entities. It will be with 3 pharmacy chains, Walmart, Walgreens, and CVS, as well as 2 opioid manufacturers, Allergan and Teva, I'm not even sure how that's pronounced. The information we have, which frankly is limited at this time, was provided by the Office of the Pennsylvania Attorney General, who negotiated the settlement on behalf of Pennsylvania counties and other municipal subdivisions. It will follow the pattern in terms of the steps it takes that will be set by the previous settlement. So the first step is for prospective participants to execute the 5 participation forms and submit them on or before April 15th. And that's the action that I'm going to be proposing that the board take this morning. If this follows the previous pattern, as we are told it will, the participation form for each settlement, again, must be executed. There can be no alterations to it and submitted on or before April 18th in order for the county to be considered for the initial participation calculations and payment eligibility. And it will be based upon subdivision participation and those forms that are received before the deadline date. The subdivision participation rate will be used then to determine whether participation for each deal is sufficient for the settlement to move forward and whether the Commonwealth earns its maximum potential payment under the settlement. So in other words, if there would be a number of eligible participants or a large number who would say, hey, we don't want to participate that, we want another deal negotiated, then in fact that could negate anything progressing further. That was this, again, this is exactly the same as in the initial settlement. So if the settlement moves forward, then our release will become effective. If the settlement doesn't move forward, then our release isn't effective. The same permitted uses for settlement funds, and those were the ones outlined in Exhibit E of the previous settlement, will apply. Again, the amounts and everything is very, very preliminary, but in a call with the Attorney General's office before, I guess, the week before last, they gave very, very preliminary estimates, and this is very, very wide. They're saying that Pennsylvania should get a minimum of $366 million and a maximum of $832 million, and it'll be paid over a number of years. And my understanding is it'll be a varying number of years because this is 5 different settlements, so it's going to be a little more complex of a numbers and accounting game, but it'll be similar, again, that longer-term payout to the first settlement. We believe, we have been led to believe, that the Commonwealth will be using the same allocation formula as they did in the first settlement. And in that case, this is using the raw numbers and trying to apply that same ratio. We estimate that Blair County's share over the life of the payout, so not in year one, over what could be 20 years, who knows how many years, it'll be a minimum of $2 million approximately to a maximum of approximately $4.6 million. Again, none of this is certain at this point in terms of amounts or the timing. So all we're really doing here is taking the first step. When asked in the Q&A section when they thought the trustees would be ready to make any release of payment, they thought it wouldn't be any time before December of this year. Questions? Okay, then I'm going to make the motion to request approval to execute all the 5 Exhibit Ks and submit them. Is there a second to that motion?
Commissioner Webster, second.
Okay. Any other questions? Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That is approved, and we're going to move on to new business then, which is item 8, the Park and Rec Advisory Board, and Melissa Harpster.
Hello there.
Melissa.
We're requesting approval of a Valley View Park Facilities Rental Management Agreement between the County of Blair and Central Blair Recreation Commission for CBRC to manage Valley View Park amenity reservations for a $5 portion of the $70 rental fee paid by the public per the terms outlined in the agreement, and that would be for the period of April 17th, 2023 through December 31, 2023.
Questions for Melissa or discussion?
No question, just this is why we are approved the fee increase. It's not that the county is going to be making any more additional funds, it's that we will have a more efficient way of getting the reservations taken care of.
And I would like to thank the subcommittee that worked on this for pulling it together quickly. Michaela Dempsey and Heather Reininger and Don Weekland. And then Grant Wills came in at the end for getting, the website and the pages and everything ready to go. And also Judy Irvin on CBRC. She has things up and ready on their end, so we should be able to, I think, make a switch over here next week.
Wonderful.
For maybe future consideration, has the Parks and Rec Board ever thought about doing half-day rentals instead of a full day, or are they pretty committed to full-day rentals?
I honestly don't know if that's ever been discussed or not. It's always been full day as long as I've been
I just
here.
thought it might be an idea. I mean, I think some, for what, depending on what why the rental is being taken, someone might not want it for the full day, and $70 is kind of getting up there in price. So for some people, it might make it more affordable and generate more business. I don't know. Just a thought.
You can take that to the Park and Rec Board. Awesome, thanks.
Melissa, I want to thank you for thanking the subcommittee. If you didn't, I was going to, but we'd be remiss if we didn't thank the Park and Recs Board for being a little bit open. Right now, the only way, or up until this was proposed, the only way you could actually rent a pavilion was between 8 and 4, Monday through Friday, given Melissa was at her seat. So it really opens up for the public to be open to, renting a pavilion at 2 a.m. when they wake up and say, oh crap, I forgot about that. So you have a more, a bigger way, a better way to reach the public. When I first challenged them, I went with the idea that I just need some more of Melissa's time back, because the park and rec rentals are a time-consuming process when you're talking about a manual system rather than something automated and through a website. And they really came up with something that I hadn't even considered, and really it worked out. So I want to thank the board too, because I was really anticipating a 2024 rollout. So they really did some hard work for a 2023 rollout. So.
And I will say that there was some concerns of people who felt that there would be some hesitancy for some of the older people and so forth, and not being able to navigate an online system. Don Weekland did propose to put a computer in the office entryway, lobby area. If there would be people who walk in who would need assistance, we would be able to, help them with that. So
Many people coming together.
That is, and I think we would be remiss also if we did not thank Mike Hofer and his staff, as well as the board at the Central Blair Recreation Commission for taking this on. That's been a good partnership with them. They do a lot of great things in this community, so we are appreciative of that as well.
Okay, but the phone's still ringing off the hook upstairs. We've been halting all pavilion
So-
rentals for today. So if you could
We will
please.
entertain a motion
today.
at this time to approve the rental management agreement.
Oh, Commissioner Webster, I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any other discussion? Those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've reached the end of our agenda. We're going to thank everyone for their participation in today's meeting and adjourn at this time. Have a great day.